What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today I'm here to talk about some more Orcs Must Die Unchained. This is going to be a little bit different because today I'm actually going to be talking about a new patch that is coming up next week. We are going to get Orcs Must Die Unchained 1.8, which will include, amazingly, the character Temper, who everybody has been wanting to get their hands on for quite some time. I believe he was in the closed beta for a brief moment and never really saw play in the open beta until next week. So everybody will be able to get their hands on him. He's going to have some very different mechanics. He works off of Rage. If you're familiar with barbarian characters in other games, it's a much similar mechanic to that. He builds it by dealing damage to enemies that you'll fight, and then he has abilities that will convert that range into either further damage or actually recover his health and allow him to move faster. So I am definitely looking forward to getting my hands on Temper just to see what he feels like. Probably get a few matches in for you guys to take a look at as well, and we can sort of figure out how he fits into the character roster and what he's able to do then. Other than that, there are a amazingly large host of changes, both in clarification to some things in the game, such as character skills, as well as a lot of character changes. It looks like all of the character feedback that has come in recently for the game has been pretty much gone over by the dev team. I'm not going to say that all the characters are going to get fine-tuned, but the list is so long that I'm not actually going to be able to include everything here in this video, although you should see a link in the description which will take you to the Orcs Must Die website and give you a detailed list of all the changes that are going through. So that being said, there's going to be some improved drop tables. Things that were not able to drop before will start showing up. We are going to get at least 2 new maps. I believe they're both going to be on Master, and they're enabling a lot of the existing maps for Endless, which will mean everybody's going to be getting some new chests. And that's going to be pretty amazing as far as I'm concerned. That said, new chests are great, and the new items are going to be great as well. You know, everybody being able to get more parts. Rare parts should appear more often in Rift Lord chests, but there are going to be some significant nerfs coming to quite a few things. The tier 6 and tier 7 trap cost for all trap upgrades are going to be increased by 15% and 50% respectively for tier 6 and tier 7, which means leveling up your traps, those final 2 ranks, is going to be hugely expensive. Now, with all of the new Endless maps, it'll give people incentive to play it, but there's still not currently a way for players to sort of continue to play the game for rewards daily, and that's what a lot of people really are looking for. They do have the daily quests. They've been expanded to 3 in the 1.7 update, which was an amazingly good change as far as the community goes. Like, it encourages people to stick around just a bit more playing from day to day. The games aren't particularly long per session. I mean, your average apprentice map is going to take somewhere between 6 to 7 minutes, and as far as the later maps go, you go up to about 15 on average for your Rift Lord map. But at the same time, there's going to be a bunch of pretty sweeping changes to the map difficulty throughout, I believe, all the difficulties above Apprentice. So Apprentice, they believe, was finely tuned, and everything else is going to be a little bit easier as far as some of the higher end maps, a little bit harder for some, and there's a laundry list of those. I'll pop a few up here, but of course, if you want the full list, feel free to take a look at the description and go to that link and take a look at the forum just so you can see all of the changes in their glory. Now, it appears that there are going to be a couple of new Guardians released with the next update, which is going to be interesting. We finally get, I believe, our second Priest Guardian, which is called a Friar. I have no idea how he's going to look, but all of the abilities are displayed in the patch notes. It looks like they're coming in fully decked out, similar to the changes that we got to the weapon right, cook, bartender, and blacksmith guardians, and they actually look really interesting. Some may be a bit situationally overpowered, but you know, of course, as long as it's situational, anything can be overpowered. But either way, it looks like something that a lot of players should probably look forward to receiving. Just wondering, you know, with all of the new chests and everything, how long it'll take some of the players that have exhausted most of their drops to actually grab them. But it should be something that's really interesting to take a look at. Other than that, they are also retooling a bunch of the traits. I believe there's about 6 of them, maybe a little more, which are going to have retooled effects so that they serve a much more playstyle oriented role than just being like a pretty much best in slot, which is a good idea. It offers some variance in how you set them up and which traits benefit which characters. It also, you know, sort of reinforces a playstyle onto the player, like whether or not you play a character that tends to have their health reduced more often, or if you play somebody that tends to sit back and away from danger. There are going to be traits that actually suit that now. I would like to see, again, a few more traits enter the game, but that'll have to happen over time. It's not something that I expect to be remedied with just a single patch. But overall, I have been pretty... I believe that the 1.7 patch was pretty well perceived. There was a lot of things added, some quality of life stuff like the deals in the store, which allow players to purchase a single copy of a trap for a pretty significant amount of skulls. I mean, it'll take you about 7 games on average to get some of the rare cards purchased just for the cost. They range from about, you know, a few hundred, like about 750, or to a little over 2,000 skulls, and the traps can only be purchased once, so you're not going to be able to like stockpile skulls and just max out a trap once you see it. But it will give you access, if you have a large pool of skulls, to traps that you may have not been able to max out. And so as players continue to play and stockpile skulls, you'll kind of have incentive to check in and try to go ahead and just max out the traps that you have. Of course, the devs are always looking for more and more ways for you to sink your skulls, and the new cost for the tier 6 and 7 traps are definitely going to help you get that done. Other than that, I'm not sure exactly, you know, how the state of the game is going to change. I will probably start putting up some replays of the new maps after they get changed, just so we can get a look at exactly what they look like and how they function with the new changes. I don't have any traps maxed out other than the barricade at the moment, so I'm still going to be affected actually by the cost increases, so that'll be interesting. And I think that's pretty much it. Like, the patch is coming in a few days. I'm really excited to see it, and I hope you guys are too. Feel free to let me know what you think about, you know, what's coming in the patch. Have you completed all the levels? Are any of the levels that are being changed ones that you have had problems with, or levels that you thought were too easy? What changes would you like to see coming in the future as well? Because I think the more feedback available for the developers, the more they can think about the things that they put into the game, and ultimately it'll become a better product because of it. Either way, thank you guys as always for tuning in. I sincerely appreciate it, and I hope you guys are enjoying the videos and everything up until now. As always, have a good one, folks.